What's going on YouTube? CJ Extreme here. I'm going to talk about NXT Takeover War Games, and then we're going to talk about Survivor Series. We're going to talk about how my predictions were right and how they were wrong, or if they were right and if they were wrong. Regardless of that, I also have some 2K19 gameplay on the screen of the Survivor Series Road to Glory stuff. So hopefully you enjoy that as well if you don't enjoy the commentary. Regardless, we start off NXT TakeOver War Games with a surprise matchup that wasn't originally announced to be on the card. Matt Riddle comes out jamming to his new theme, and he calls out Cassius Ohno to a matchup because Cassius interrupted him and he wanted to, fight him. And he says he's going to knock him out in both rings or whatever. So Cassius comes out angry. He's pissed off. The behemoth ready to fight, right? He gets in the ring. He's like, hey, we're going to have this match. I'm going to knock you out. And the bell rings, and I kid you not, when the bell was still ringing, Matt Riddle hit him with a freaking knee to the jaw or to the face. I don't know where he hit him, but he knocked him out cold, that's for sure. And got the pin in less than 10 seconds, I want to say. Real quick matchup. It was pretty lit. I forget what they called the finisher. I think they call it the Final Flash. I don't know if they did. Something Flash, something like that. It wasn't Yellow Flash. It was something. I don't know. There's a lot of flashes that come to my mind because I Naruto with Minato, and then the Flash, of course, and then Vegeta's Final Flash. I don't know what they were referring to when they said that or what the name of the finisher was, but regardless, Matt Riddle victorious. Move on to our next match. Kairi Sane tries to regain her championship from Shayna Baszler, and if you know me, you know that I really like Kairi Sane. I do not like when she loses, but I understand it in plot lines when it makes sense. However, Kairi Sane's shoulder was not down for the second fall, from what I saw at least. Maybe it was, but I swear it wasn't. I'll rewatch it again later, and then I'll comment in the comment section below, and then I'll basically say whether or not that's true or not. But I don't think her shoulder was down. I'm sorry. I don't think it was. But we had Maria Shafir and Jessamine Duke interfere in that match as well. And I said they would interfere, but they interfered in a different way. They didn't get Shayna disqualified. They ended up helping her get to a fall as she applied the chokehold. And wisely, Kairi Sane tapped out. I mean, she had to. Because in those kind of matches, you don't want to, try to, I got to get out of the submission as soon as possible, It's kind of like an Iron Man match. You want to try to reserve as much energy as possible, not take too much damage, and so Kairi tapped out. Made sense. Then Kairi would somehow overcome the odds of the numbers game. Even before she had help, she took out both of the 4 horsewomen of MMA, or 2 of them at least, and then she would actually take down Shayna and get that insane elbow to win the matchup. So this match is really good. I like the whole thing. And I even like when Io Shirai and Dakota Kai came out to help Kairi Sane. Because Dakota Kai, it made sense for her to come out because she's had issues with Shayna in the past. And then Io Shirai is Kairi Sane's best friend. So of course she helped out. Of course she did. And she did a beautiful moonsault, by the way. I don't know. What did she do when she was a kid? Did she just bust out moonsaults at parties? Guys, hold up. I got this. Just does a backflip. I don't know. But she's really good at it. And it's cool to see. I wonder where that's going to go with her and Kairi Sane. Rumor going around that she's done chasing the championship. I hope not. But anyways, Kairi would lose going for the insane elbow. And instead of hitting it, which I thought she did, and I was like, oh shit, she won. But then no. Shayna countered and rolled her up. Anyways, I guess we'll see what happens next time. I hope this leads to a 6-woman tag matchup somewhere down the line. Doesn't have to be at a pay-per-view, and it probably won't be, but it should be pretty cool to see those 6 females go at it. Anyways, this next matchup and these next 3 matches, were the best matches of the show. Not that the other matches were terrible or bad at all. Just they were just that good. So Johnny Gargano versus Aleister Black was the match that I was most hyped to see this weekend, and the second match I was most hyped to see was Daniel Bryan and Johnny Gargano. No. Daniel Bryan and Brock Lesnar. We'll get to that though. We'll get to that. Excellent encounter, I will say. A lot of counters here and there, a lot of spots, that I really enjoy, especially the Suicide Torpedo DDT, or Tornado DDT. I'm sorry about that. The super kick and the knee smash combo. So I thought that was cool because he did like the super kick first and then followed up with the knee smash right after that. So it's like he was doing DIY's finisher, but by himself. It was interesting, but he didn't do a knee to the back of the head, did to the face. A lot of dialogue between the two individuals. I have 4 sets of dialogue that I remember. I don't take notes. I just watch it and then I just remember what happened. Anyways, one of the pieces of dialogue, Johnny Gargano was like, I'm the hero in this. I'm the chosen one, not you. He's the one who's going to beat Tommaso Ciampa. Alistair goaded him into going for the knee smash, and he dodged it and tried to catch him with a move, but he got countered into a super kick. Johnny Gargano, what else did he do? He said a couple things. He told Alistair to go for the black mask. Put me out of my misery. I'm sorry, whatever. And then Alistair goes for it, and then Johnny counters, tries to roll him up, doesn't work. And then Alistair says, I'm going to clear you of your sins or whatever, something along those lines. Hits him with 2 black masks. Like, he hits him with one, he catches him before he falls down with like his head on his chest, resting on his chest. And then he would hit the black mask again for the pinfall. Let me drink some water real quick. You know how it is in these commentaries. Talk so much, gotta drink some water. Alright, Tommaso Ciampa versus Velveteen Dream. Some people might say this match was better than the last one. I don't know. It's hard to really say which one was better. I don't know how to feel, man. I mean, all the matches were just excellent. But anyways, Velveteen Dream, I always knew he was good, but like, I think this was his peak performance, in my opinion. I think this was his character in fully developed, as of right now at least. This was like his peak. And he could get better, of course, but this is just like exceeding your limits. Limit breaker, freaking Velveteen Dream. Okay. Anyways, excellent matchup. The crowd really wanted to see Velveteen win this matchup. The crowd really wanted to see him. And I think some people might have actually believed that Velveteen might win because Johnny Gargano actually lost his match. So then that would mean that, so I guess Tommaso might lose, so they're not going to continue the rivalry of Johnny Gargano versus Tommaso Ciampa. But no, Tommaso came out victorious with a nice DDT on the apron, or actually on the this middle piece that attached the 2 arenas or 2 rings together, squared circles, whatever. A lot of cool spots. Velveteen hit that Purple Rainmaker, dude. I thought he was going to win. Everybody, I think, thought he was going to win that matchup. Okay. I thought he was going to win. I really did. He hit it perfectly. Like, it didn't look like he could have possibly lost right there, but he did lose. After Tommaso kicked out, he went for another one while Tommaso was prone on the apron. Tommaso rolled out of the way. And, I mean, it made sense for him to kick out of the Purple Rainmaker. Here's why, in case anyone was like, he can't kick out of finishers. Here's why. You remember that unsanctioned match with Johnny Gargano in the Last Man Standing match and the Chicago Street Fight? Those two can take an ass beating. They can take one hell of a beating. And I like the continuity in NXT where they're like, okay, this guy's fighting this guy now, so it only makes sense for him to kick out of this move or whatever at this time. It makes sense. It's kind of like if someone tanks like an explosion, but then they can't take a pillow hit. Like, come on now, I'm not saying that the elbow was a pillow hit, but you get the idea. Whatever, terrible analogy. Whatever. Moving on. We go to the main event, the War Games matchup. This is probably the best War Games match that I've seen. I have not seen them all, so I couldn't possibly rank them from worst to best. And I couldn't possibly, I don't want to watch all the other ones. I don't. But this one was better than last year. It was very technical and tactical and exciting. And I thought that Undisputed Era would actually win because they weren't fighting amongst themselves, except at one point where Bobby Fish wanted to get out of the cage, but then Roderick Strong got out of the cage instead. I don't know. It was really, really exciting, the matches. A lot of spots. Frog splash through a table from Hansen. this big Tower of Doom spot with Rowe while he had who did he have on his back? I think he had Kyle O'Reilly on his back when he did it. There was like this move where Ricochet tried to go from rope to rope, and then he got caught with a super kick by Adam Cole. Adam Cole hit the last shot on Pete Dunne, and Pete Dunne kicked out. I don't know about anyone kicking out of, that finisher right there, but I guess that's what happens, I guess. He can't get pinned right there, whatever. But Adam Cole would get hit with a bitter end and get hit with a springboard 450 splash and get pinned by both Ricochet and Pete Dunne. There's also a really cool spot, interesting spot with Johnny Gargano. Not Johnny Gargano, oh my God. Kyle O'Reilly. Remember last year when he tried to hit someone with a chair? I think it was Alexander Wolf. He tried to hit him with the chair and it bounced back and hit him in the face. Well, he learned from that and avoided it. So I thought that was just a really cool thing they did there. Nice little touch. The little things. The little things. That's what makes things like this exciting. Storytelling, and what they pay attention to even the smallest of details. Now we move on to Survivor Series. And oh boy. I didn't dislike this, but I like the action. The action was great. I did not like the booking, okay? The whole build-up this whole time, it would make complete sense for SmackDown to sweep Raw. But Raw sweeps SmackDown, and yes, SmackDown won the Tag Team Survivor Series match, but Cole wasn't counting it for some unknown reason. So I guess Raw won 6-0. At least that's what Cole kept saying, but it was actually 6-1. That's what happened. Why was Cole ignoring that? Someone must have been in his ear. I don't know what the fuck is going on there. Anyways, there were matches that I thought Raw competitors should have won, like Brock Lesnar versus Daniel Bryan. Reason why I say Brock should have won that, because he has his UFC fight coming up. You have Charlotte losing to Ronda Rousey in an interesting fashion. Regardless of that, Ronda Rousey should have won to keep the streak alive. But the SmackDown women's team should have won the Survivor Series match. I'm sorry. Regardless of who they had on their team. I know they had Asuka. I know she was the last one in. Still looking strong. I get that Nia had to win that. But just imagine if Nia would have betrayed Sasha and then just walked out because she had more important things to focus on, like the Raw Women's Championship in her mind, versus her getting the pin here. Like, oh my God. I guess it's just going to be all the more satisfying when for the fans and everyone who is like disliking Nia right now, when Ronda just beats the shit out of her, which is what I'm expecting to happen. If Ronda loses to Nia, you know how pissed people are going to be, dude? Oh my God. The heat will be insane. It doesn't mean do it, WWE. If you're watching this shit, you better not be doing it. Don't do it. Don't you dare. Alright, anyways. We also had our next matchup. I mean, during the pre-show match, there were a lot of botches. I enjoyed it towards the end, and I feel like the Revival, hopefully they get something here in the long run. But regardless of that, they didn't do too well. They didn't end up winning. But regardless, our next match was Shinsuke Nakamura versus Seth Rollins. My favorite match, one of my favorite matches actually, and one of the matches I was really excited to see. And I wish Shinsuke would have won this one. This is the match where I thought a SmackDown guy should win. And didn't even have to have Dean Ambrose's interference. The thing that was weird to me is that he hit a Kinshasa to the back of the head of Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins kicks out, right? But he doesn't kick out of the stump. Now, I'm not saying that he should kick out of the stump, and he did kick out of the Revolution knee. But everybody and their mama has kicked out of the fucking Revolution knee at this point. Like, I don't know. I don't know what they were thinking there. Kind of weird. But the match was still good, no less. And I actually just rewatched it, and I liked it. Our next matchup, The Bar versus AOP. Two Smash Mouth powerhouse teams of warriors who love beating the hell out of all their opponents. The most physical tag teams in all of WWE collide. Champion versus champion. And Drake Maverick pisses himself. So then that distracts The Bar. And AOP wins. What the fuck is this, dude? Vince must have been laughing his ass off, people were saying. I don't know about all that, and he probably was. Seems like something that he would like. And someone predicted this. I forget who. I was watching a video, and someone actually said that Drake Maverick was something hilarious was going to happen to him in particular, and that would distract the bar, and AOP would win. Someone said that. I don't know who. Someone said that. But I agree with AOP winning. This match should have been focused more so on just these two hosts of teams just destroying each other. That's what it should have been, but it wasn't. It wasn't. And I know Enzo Amore was in the crowd being a fucking jackass. I know he was there. But we're not going to talk about him because he wants attention and he doesn't deserve it. Anyways, even though I just technically talked about him. But I feel like I had to address it because I didn't want to hear in the comment section, what about Enzo Amore? I don't give a fuck about Enzo Amore. That's my opinion on him. There you go. What was the next match? Mustafa Ali versus Buddy Murphy. Incredible cruiserweight action. In my opinion, the match of the night where Buddy Murphy would retain. Insane spots. Both of them are just incredible, dude. They could have this match on 205 Live every week and it would still be good every time. Actually, I take that back. That's not something that could actually happen. But I'd be entertained for the most part, but then I get kind of tired of it. But I'd be entertained. But Mustafa lost clean, so I'm wondering where does he go from here? Is that it for Mustafa for the championship? Is Alexander gonna win the belt back? Cedric Alexander? Is he gonna lose to Buddy Murphy and then Tony Nese will win the belt? Is it gonna be a fatal four-way for the championship where Buddy Murphy will lose it? I don't know. I thought if he was gonna win it at any night, it would be this one because of the championship. Because they could go back and forth for him and Buddy Murphy. They could go back and forth, I would think, but I guess not. So I got a lot of these predictions wrong. This is one of the ones that I got wrong. I got Brock Lesnar winning correct, and I got AOP winning correct. Regardless, I can't remember what the next match was. Let me think about it. There had to be 3 more matches left, so I'm guessing the next match was the Men's Survivor Series match. I think so. Yeah, the Men's Survivor Series match was next. Samoa Joe got eliminated by 1 Claymore. I mean, he rolled out of the ring right after he got caught, so I guess it shows like, oh, I wasn't completely out. But still, Samoa Joe shouldn't be losing like that. I'm sorry, but Samoa Joe shouldn't be losing like that. I just don't agree with it. I don't. I think Samoa Joe should have been the last guy on SmackDown's team. There you go. He should have got 2 eliminations at the end, and then if Braun would have beat him right there, I would have been perfectly fine with that. But Joe should have looked strong. That was terrible. Everything else in the match was good. I enjoyed everything else about the match except Samoa Joe. And I'm fine with Raw winning, but the only thing about Raw winning, if they're going to be fighting each other and fighting SmackDown, you would think that would be a team of individuals not ready to actually compete, and then they would lose. You know? You would think Baron Corbin would try to cost Braun the match. Nope. I guess not. Charlotte Flair versus Ronda Rousey. Incredible women's match where these two, once again, another match where 2 individuals just beat the hell out of each other. That spear was excellent. The arm bars that Ronda was able to pull out was excellent. Charlotte got pissed and realized she couldn't beat her, so she grabbed a kendo stick, and it looked like a shoot. It did not look like she was just hitting someone with a kendo stick. It looked like a shoot. I'm not kidding, but I know it wasn't. Or at least, yeah, obviously it wasn't. She hit Ronda. Like, she was popping this lady with this fucking kendo stick, dude. Like, she owed her money. Like, that was a beating if I ever seen one. I'm just saying. And then she stomped on her neck with the chair. Pretty gruesome, but still a great match no less. But yeah, I guess Charlotte's heel now, and I guess Becky's a face. Alright, I guess this is what we're doing. That's fine. Will Becky be able to compete by TLC? I think she will be. I think she'll be cleared. I think Alexa will be cleared too by then as well. Even though I don't think her injury was as bad as Becky's from a visual standpoint, but I never saw Alexa get injured. I only heard about it, so I can't really say. Regardless of that, main event. This main event, in the beginning, I was pissed. I was really annoyed by what I was watching. I'm not gonna joke around here. I'm serious. I was incredibly annoyed seeing Daniel Bryan just get shit stumped by Brock Lesnar for a bit. And it wasn't, don't even, like, people were comparing it to AJ Styles, and I understand the comparison. This was so one-sided. This wasn't like, oh, AJ countered a little bit, then got caught again, and then counted a little bit, then got caught, and then eventually he started to get some real offense in. This was just, it looked like Brock was just being boring for no reason. You know what I mean? Like, the crowd was completely out of it. I was completely out of it. I think what really got to me, I think why I was like really upset when I was watching it, is because when I have ADHD, so it's hard for me to focus on things. So sometimes I have to do something else in the background. And I was playing wrestling while also watching the match, and the game froze, so I was already annoyed, and then watching that Daniel Bryan get no offense and probably just intensified my frustration. But regardless of that, it was still good. You know, no complaints here. Towards the end, I should say, it was still good. So no complaints in that area of the matchup. Incredibly physical. Daniel Bryan stumping on his head, getting a low blow, and getting the run in the end. I thought he was going to win. I thought he was going to win by a small package and be the only guy from SmackDown that won a match, at least in terms of champion versus champion matches. That's not how it turned out, and that's okay. But those are my thoughts on Survivor Series. And we'll see on Raw and SmackDown how things play out from there. But thanks for watching. See you guys next time.